Hello and thank you for visiting strobesandmore.com. In this video here I'm going to show you the Whelen Competitor Series strobe system. The Competitor Series comes in both a 60 and a 90 watt strobe kit, difference being just the wattage of the power supply. In the kits you'll find the strobe power supply inside a box. Inside that box you'll find a little bag. It's got extra connectors, some screws to mount the power supplies, and two harnesses, a power and control harness, and I'll show you those in a minute. You will also find a set of installation instructions inside the box, along with 4 clear Whelen hide-to-flash strobe tubes, hideaway strobes, 4 15-foot cables. We do have an option on our website. If you need longer cables, you can sub in some longer lengths, as well as colored bulbs. Now, the 2 cables you're going to receive with this kit. Let me back up a minute. This power supply here, both the 60 and the 90, will run a total of 6 strobes. So you have 6 outputs here for your strobes, and I'm going to get to those in a minute. You're going to have a power output and also a control output. Your power output uses the red, black, and purple wire. The power and ground are the red and black. They go to your battery. They're in the instructions on what size wires you need to use in the fusing. The purple wire is a low power wire. Most people want them as bright as possible, so they don't use that. The other cable you're going to get is what we call a control cable. And that cable there has 3 different wires. One will turn on your first 2 strobes, one will activate the next 4, and then one is used to change your flash patterns. There's 9 flash patterns built into this power supply right from the factory. This power supply has a 5-year warranty directly from Whelen. If you have a problem, you can send it right back to Whelen, and they'll either repair it or replace it, and they'll send it right back to you. Now, the strobe tubes themselves. The strobe tubes that come with a 90 watt kit are what we call a flange style strobe tube. They have a flange at the bottom, they come with a rubber gasket, and they have 2 screws that hold them in place inside your existing light. These will mount on your headlights, tail lights, accessory lights, anywhere you have at least an inch of space on the inside, and then a 1-inch diameter where you can cut the hole to stick the bulb in. This 90 watt kit is held in place with 2 screws, and the strobes are secure. They won't go anywhere. The 60 watt kit, on the other hand, comes with what they call a pop-in strobe tube. Has a black rubber base, very similar, but it's not held in place with the 2 screws. My personal preference is this flange style. Once you put the screws in, it's not going anywhere. The pop-ins don't necessarily pop out, but I have seen people who haven't installed them properly all the way in the hole and they have come loose. So just something to think about when you're ordering. The strobe cables. Inside the bag you'll have the strobe cables and the connectors from the ends. They come with the ends off, the white plastic ends off, and they have 3 metal pins. When you route your wires through the vehicles, you want to leave the connectors off, run some black tape around the end. It helps you fish your wires from the power supply to your lights. Let me mention right here, this power supply and just about all the power supplies we offer, unless we specifically state that they're waterproof, need to be mounted in a clean, dry environment. Under a seat, behind a back seat, in an enclosed toolbox. You don't want them anywhere where they're going to be susceptible to moisture or a lot of dirt and dust and debris. Now, once you run your strobe cable, you're going to snap the little white connector on. You're going to plug it into your strobe tube. And on the other end, you're going to put the connector on and you're going to plug it into your strobe power supply. Done. You do this for all 4 of your strobe cables from the individual lights back to the power supply. You run your main power and ground, and then you run your control wires to your switch. I'm going to back up just a moment here and mention one thing. On the strobe cables you'll notice a bare wire coming out. It doesn't have any covering over it, just a bare wire. That's what they call a drain wire. If you're using a lot of electronics in your vehicle, such as laptops, really the laptops is the only thing it'll really affect. You can ground it if you have a lot of radios where you worry about interference. That'll take any electricity or any radio waves or frequencies that are coming out of this cable. You won't necessarily get electricity out of it, but it'll ground that so it won't interfere with your other electronics. Let me state that 99.9% of the installs we do and the applications, it's not used. Only in cases where vehicles have laptops running will we run the drain wires, or a lot of the aircraft guys who use the vehicle ones in experimental aircraft will also ground them. Now, last thing I'm going to mention on here is your switch. We have a couple options on our site. One is just a simple on-off switch. It lights up Flip the switch, turns everything on, turns everything off. You can set your flash pattern when you install them. If you want to get a little fancier, we have our custom Strobes and More switch, which we've patented. Comes with a nice panel here. All the switches are mounted in it. Your first panel will turn on the first 2 strobes. The second switch turns on the last 4 strobes. And the momentary button will change your flash pattern every time you push it. It's a nice panel here. It mounts under your dash. Has 2 wires coming out of the back of the panel. Just need to run those to your fuse panel and ground the black wire. Those activate the lights in the switches, and also they send a minute amount of power back through the full harness that it comes with, a 15-foot harness, to the power supply. This mounts and plugs into your control port on your power supply. You don't have to figure out with our switch what wire goes where and what does what. It's already run for you. I'll mention that this saves you about an hour on your install time. It's a valuable switch we came up with. So, once you've done that, you're really ready to go. Only other tool or item I'll mention here that you need to have when you do the strobe kits is you need to have a hole saw. It's a 1-inch hole saw. We sell them on the website. They're about $10. Hardware stores, they're anywhere from $15 to $20. You need to use this type of bit. It's a hole saw bit. It's got a pilot bit in the center of it, and then it's got the actual hole saw around the outside. I can't emphasize this enough. Do not use a paddle bit. Do not use what they call a Forstner bit. You need to use an actual hole saw bit, and that's what these are. Like I said, we have them for only $10. If you need one, pick one up. That's really it on the Whelen system. I hope I didn't talk too fast for you. I wanted to cram a lot of information in just a couple minutes video. We have them in 60 and 90 watts, like I said. You can choose your options on the website. If you need any additional items, they're on the website as well. Please give us a call here at Strobes & More with any questions, or send us an email. We'll be glad to help you out, as well as when you're installing it. If you have any technical questions, install questions, give us a call. We'll do our best to assist you. Thank you very much for visiting strobesandmore.com, and have a great day.